Well, my favorite level is finally getting the master level treatment. Have you ever been online and you go search Discord and Reddit and something pops out at you really awesome? So it turns out that Terrace Nabad does look like it's going to be the next master level, and today we're going to talk about what I want to see, don't want to see, and things to look out for. So Jason O'Connell looks to be behind this level. He is the one who made the Super Gorness master level and the Dusk Soap Easter egg in the sewers, which I do need to go look for. So let's talk about what I want to see. So it looks like based off of this, Hugo says that the base game master level's up first, DLC 2 in the following patch afterwards. They wish they could do more, but COVID schedule and all. Yes, I understand. So he says he'll miss the toys and unique AI available in the DLCs. Well, that looks like that there's not going to be spirits available. And actually, spirits are not available via mods anymore, as they seem to have been coded out, which I understand, as they are a paid DLC feature. But it looks like that we'll still have the original enemies to deal with, which is cool. He says back to playtesting, fun stuff, that the devs are here killing it, as always. So, it will be interesting to see without spirits. I know this is going to be, some people are going to like it, some people are going to not like it. So, what do I want to see? First and foremost, I hope the release goes smoothly, goes very well. I know id wants it to, and I know we want it to also. I will just put this out front. We know that Super Gorness Master Level did have some bugs at release. And this, and just to make it super clear, this is not a bug bash video, so let's keep the comments clean, video as well. So just make sure if you do see something, report it through the proper channels so they can fix it. So hopefully that we get a clean launch, that everything is squashed that needs to be, and we can report anything else that may be able to get in the way, and we can help knock it out again. What do I want to see? This being my very favorite map. The intro with the Marauder has to be awesome. Maybe a buffed Marauder like in the custom made level. There's just so much stuff that they could do with this. And of course, I'm always curious to hear what you want to see as well. So I know that we want to turn it up because Hugo has said that we won't be asking for the game to be any harder after this one. So I'm very curious to see that. Now, you know the final fight. I know I'm jumping way ahead there. Well, we'll get to that here in a second. The Atrium fight has so much going for it. Now, normally it's an arch file in the base game, and it's an introduction to that AI, which I get that it needs to be pretty much alone by itself, so you can get used to it. It's a pretty crazy AI that new players thought was a buff totem at first. So thankfully there's a tutorial tooltip now, and pretty much by himself with a knight and a prowler now. Well, now that the players are more comfortable with this, I expect to see that Atrium utilized totally. Maybe we'll have some monkey bars added, I don't know, it was done in mods, and a whole big fight could be done here because this arena is just asking for it. It's a great set piece to look at in the base game, but now that we know about it, it is time to do a huge battle there. Going through the sewers and down, even have a battle in the Divinity Machine room, because the mods have done it. I think it's totally a viable option. You can even block it off. Because you got to remember, master levels, they do stuff differently. They add fog, they add barriers, things that are not in the base game that you can make it a little spicier. You also have to remember, too, that we will have the Crucible from the get-go. No longer do you have to wait until the very end of the map to get it for the final arena. You'll probably see Crucible pickups scattered about the map, and also you'll be able to route that in and use it on monsters along the way. Now let's take a quick jump to what people may not want to see. So, I am a big fan of the big open arena battles. There is a time and place for the claustrophobic fights. Yes, like in the sewers when you drop down. Man, if there would be a fight before that Archvile arena in the sewers, like with a Marauder or something, that would catch you off guard, and you would have to be able to maneuver and navigate around him when he's down there. Maybe not a buffed one, maybe just a regular one. We'll see what happens though. But with these big open arenas, it gives you a lot of ways to use the Slayer's full toolkit that we have. You can use your Meat Hook and Arbalest, Destroyer Blade, all of that, and you really need to take advantage of it. So that's why I think this is a good candidate for a master level, because we have so many open arenas. Practically most of the level is outside, and the levels and the arenas that are inside are pretty tight, pretty claustrophobic. The Hugo Archvile Arena, as the community has lovingly dubbed it, which was pretty fun to watch on his live stream, could really be messy because it's already an encounter that they designed around the BFG. See, on his stream he talked about having the BFG pickup in there. That is pushing and urging the player to use it if they need to, but of course it is beatable without it. But what could they do now? Now, there's been a lot of things that happened in this past year since the game's come out, and new encounters are now on the table. When the game first came out, double Archvile, triple Archvile was not even a thing, possibly. Buffed Archvile, you can't even do that, I don't think. But now that we have this experience, we are able to have things a little bit tougher. Like the original Cultist Base Master level, if they remade that today, I guarantee you would look a lot different. So I know that players do want to see a lot of variation, a lot of different things, but they don't want to see what I have seen people called, like I said, this is just what I've seen, quote-unquote, gimmick areas. So one of the probably least popular Super Gorness parts was the double Tyrant Doom Hunter in that small rotunda, the donut room. And you definitely had to have a strategy going in there. You had to. you had to say, all right, I'm going to do this to this monster, this to there. Or you could use your Crucible points as well, or your BFG. Another area that was not too bad, it kept you on your toes, was the double Marauder goo area, because the thing that stands out about that one is that you basically had to use your radiation suit as another resource. Not only did you have to juggle your health, armor, ammo, you had to juggle your rad suit in the mix and be able to go back to that pickup, time it right, shield out of that, and go into play there. So if the team can do things like that with the master levels, that will be interesting if it's done in a cool and good and fun way. We know we talk about the fun zone, but in all seriousness, unironically, whatever the term is, if you have an area, if you have a time, if you've ever done this, I have. Tell me if you have in the comments. You get in the zone and you are hype and you are just focused in on the game, and then when that arena that has you on the edge of your seat, because why buy the whole seat if you're only going to need the edge, is finished, you have that exasperated sigh of relief where you're just like, and you're finally done, and you're like, man, that was awesome, let's do it again. Similar to the feeling that you get after a roller coaster, except I hate roller coasters, so I do not get that feeling. It sucks, and I do not like to ride them. Now, as we know that the community has wanted more difficult levels, and Hugo has said, like I mentioned, we won't be asking for the game to be harder anymore. Now, as long as that is done in a fun way, rather than an unfun. And I trust that the devs are going to be putting their all into it, even with the whole COVID thing. Now, there's a difference between just slapping a bunch of demons in a room and saying just go at it, and then strategically placing them in the encounter. What makes an encounter fun is if they are placed in such a way that they work off of each other's strengths and weaknesses. For example, pay attention the next time that you see this. You might see a Cacodemon and a Hell Knight paired up, or you might see a Pinky and a Pain Elemental, because one of those units is the pressure unit. They're designed to get in your face and pressure you to focus all of your energies on them. They want you to develop that tunnel vision on that knight because of the pressure that he puts on you via melee, while the Cacodemon or whatever else is in the distance, ranging, firing down on you from afar. The game is testing you, and it wants you to not just develop that tunnel vision, to have that situational awareness, to understand what's going on the battlefield, not just in front of you, and predicting what will happen next. I really like talking about this topic. I've done videos on it, and I'll probably make more videos on it because it's super cool to break these encounters down. Subscribe to the channel if you like that kind of thing, because I love it. Now, the whole thing is, if they design the encounters around that, if they think, what enemy goes well here? What can I use in this arena to full advantage? So, for example, the Atrium arena, if you have flying enemies, that is just asking to be used for flying enemies. Or even, as much as I hate to say it, the Crucible arena, Pain Elementals work really, really well there because they have their shielding and their covering by some of the things up in the air, and you have to be able to sneak around and find them around it, use the jump pads, get up in the air with the chainsaw. That arena is just asking to have Pain Elementals because it benefits, it plays off of them so well. Now, the Lost Souls being the homing missiles is a little rough, so they are definitely a priority enemy that you want to focus on when you see them on the battlefield. The final Crucible arena, I am not sure what to expect. I really don't know. I wonder if those Crucible pickups are going to be gone. No, seriously, but I mean, they're in the base game to get you used to it. I think they should be gone in the Master level because that is meant to be a test, a full kitted Slayer test for the people who want the biggest challenge of them all. For the people that say, I want that DLC to be extremely difficult, I want the base game to be really hard. Well, this is what you're looking for, these Master levels, and to have, like, I think it's, 12 Crucible pickups? Because, like, seriously, on the base game, you can use, 6 of them in the arena or more. You can use 3 in the Slayer Gate, and then come back to have 3 more going into Necroval. We don't need that in the Master level. That makes it too much, because the whole point of this level is to challenge the player. Because that's what the player wants if they're playing Master levels. They want to be pushed to their ever-loving limits. And I'm curious to see these challenges that come along with it. I want to know what kind of rewards and skins and all that cool stuff we're going to get. Day 1 on my Twitch, if you're not following, please do. You should be, yes. I will be streaming this as soon as I can, as soon as it comes out. This is one of my favorite levels, so naturally, I'm going to go for every single freaking award that id Software is going to put out there. I'm going to do it because I'm ready for this level. All things considered, balance is key. These big arenas use the enemies to their advantages. Think about where you might not want to see a Marauder, in the sewers. Think about where you do want to see a Pain Elemental, in the skies, or if you ever want to see a Pain Elemental. They've been bothering us since 1994, and they still do it some almost 30 years later. Wow. Subscribe to the channel. Be sure to comment below what you want to see in this level if you're excited. My name is Allstin. I'll see you later, and bye. The secret phrase of this video is, rip and tear is not bad. That's pretty crafty, I gotta admit.